Da 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 da. What's my good cheer? Welcome, everybody. Let's give YouTube a couple of minutes, get those notifications out, let people know I've gone live. And in the meantime, if you've never met me before, hi, I'm Cindy. I explore the inside and the outside, and it has been a day spending on the inside, but at the same time, being present. If you don't know, I'm going through, a little process of letting go, I think. I am cautiously optimistic. My cat had an episode. I think she had a heart attack, and she's a lot better today than she was yesterday. She was in a really bad state yesterday. She's not even close to being out of it yet, right? And I was so excited yesterday. She had before I went to bed, that she had a little poop, and that was good because I didn't want her to be constipated because it's very painful for her because she's just too weak right now, right? So this is what I've been doing all day, feeding her and trying different ways to get her have a bowel movement, and I haven't been successful yet, but she wants to eat. She's just ravenous, and I've got her on the wet cat food, and that's like a special treat for her. She never gets that. She's always been on dried cat food. But, this is the route that we're going to go down. This is the route we're going to go down. And I'm glad that she's enjoying this wet food, but she can't say no. And because she's a little lethargic, she wants to eat, she wants to do something, but because she doesn't have the energy, she doesn't know what to do. So she's just been kind of getting up and moving spots, walking to her food dish, and I'm excited now that she's eating, so I have fed her too much. Today she's eaten a can and a half, and I think that's quite a bit of wet food. Some people might not think that it is, but it's not something that her system is used to in any way. And I'm only doing that because I'm thinking, if anything, maybe that, right, will do the trick for her. I want it to be as comfortable and easy and as right as it can be, because I suspect it's going to be very painful for her. Ah, right. It was the best of times. It was the worst of times. Right. And that's the way it goes sometimes. We have to appreciate that we don't spend too much time in the sad part of it, in the worrisome part of it, in the frustrating, or the thing that causes us so much anxiety, right? It drags us down. Hello, Kathy. She's doing much better than she was doing yesterday. Kathy, I'm actually quite surprised that she did as well today. I'm concerned she's constipated and she's still very weak, so I don't want her to be in pain when she goes to the bathroom. She is using the box, but today, since 5 o'clock yesterday, she hasn't had a bowel movement, so I'm a little bit concerned with that because I suspect it's going to be pretty painful for her, and it's hard for me, right? But I'm being present with her. I'm staying with her. Today I had an appointment, and for the past 2 days I haven't left the house. I've stayed in the house with her and paid attention to her and cleaned her and whatever she needs, just so that she knows that she's not in it all by herself. But I had to go out today, but it was a chore that usually takes me a few hours, because I usually walk home from it. It's an opportunity for me to go for a nice long walk in a neighborhood that I don't get to walk in very often. Um, but today I just hopped a bus got that appointment taken care of, hopped right back on the bus, stopped off at the grocery store, bought more wet cat food for her, and came right home. Oh, I don't know. You do the best that you can, right? You know, I think in this world you get what you give, right? She's given quite a bit in her life, so especially for myself, and she had a difficult life too, right? When I got her, she was just recovering, and it like 2 months earlier she had almost died, right? Because she was outside at 40 below zero in some farmer's shed. She had already lost her tail and lost one of her ears, eh? And it was just a good thing that farmer saw her footprints in the snow. Otherwise, he wouldn't have even known that there was a cat in the shed, right? So he saved the cat, and I'm grateful, right? He told me the story about the cat. It was kind of one of the selling features of me grabbing the cat to I actually just wanted a kitten because I was determined. I was hopping my mountain bike and my basket with my cat. I was going to ride my bike across Canada and raise money for the homeless. This was my big plan when I was going through that span there where I was losing my apartment and I was having a hard time keeping jobs and stuff and and that's the plan I came up with. Oh my goodness, you don't have apartments, so you might as well get a kitten and train it to live in a basket. You're going to travel across this airplane. I think about it now, and it gives me joy, right? To think about it. It gives me joy even telling the story because it's so outlandish, right? It's so not me. It's so not me. The mountain biking, yes, right? Having a cat, yes. But riding a mountain bike across Canada with a cat in a basket. But that was my plan. That was my plan. And, you know, I put an ad in the paper for a kitten, and you have to advertise when you want a kitten because what happens is people put kittens up for free kittens and people scoop up all the kittens and then they sell them, right? They sell them for $150. So it's really hard to get kittens and people don't know there are kitten scammers out there, right? So if you want a kitten, you actually have to advertise for one. So I advertised for a kitten and I let everybody I knew, right, know that I was looking for a kitten. And I guess the advertisement got to this one guy who had this 50-pound 50-pound cat that didn't have a tail or an ear, but it had a great story and it got my heart, and she got my heart, right? So we are solid, right? I have had an amazing relationship, and I got lots of good stories to tell about her, and yeah. So again, it was the best of times. It was the worst of times, and you just have to appreciate the good times. And sometimes those good times are in the memories. We don't all just have terrible, crappy memories. We all have good memories too, right? And that's the truth. And when I'm 80, 90 years old, looking back at my life, right, be nice to think about her and uh, if there is any brownie points or anything to be divvied out in the end of the line when I'm standing at the pearly gates, I would suspect that, she would get a nice little chunk of brownie points because yeah, she got me through some crazy town. That's for sure. And sometimes that's all we need, right? We all get to pick and choose what we ground in. And I do ground in some funky ideas. Right? I do. But I believe in them, right? I believe in them when I think them up and then I start moving towards them. But the thing is, too, I just as quickly will let them go, right? Sometimes I just kind of run with things, it's like a pit bull with a piece of raw meat with me. You throw me a ball and I'm off and running, not even thinking about it, right? And, that's one thing about me. Once I have had an opportunity to digest it and think about it, right? I'll just say, listen, that was one crazy, silly idea. You thinking you were going to ride a mountain bike across Canada. And where would I start? Right? Like, I'm right in the dab of Canada. Am I just doing half of Canada? Or if I'm what or am I starting on the coast? And if I'm starting on the coast, what coast am I? And do I have a campaign manager who's going to be doing the fundraising and letting the towns know that I'm going to be I'm going to be Oh my goodness. I'm going to be pedaling into town looking for money for homeless people, right? Or the other deal wasn't just homeless people, but I thought like the pay it forward because I had just seen the movie Pay It Forward. And so I thought, oh, one town can pay it forward and do a kindness for somebody in the next town, and we'll just do that right across Canada. But I get these ideas, but just as much as I'm not technically inclined, uh, I'm not a builder. That's right. I build in the imagination. I build with the ideas, but the technical part of it, this joint goes in here. You give me an IKEA kit, it ain't gonna get put together ever, right? Because these things don't work for me, right? Or I don't work for them. It's just part of my nature. And again, I could say, because I say that, that's the way I am. But if that's true, then right, then I'll say that because maybe I don't even like the idea of having. I don't like puzzles, right? So I'm okay with being wrong in that because then it would just be for a different reason. I don't like puzzles. Yeah. Oh my goodness. But thank you. Yeah, that was quite a while ago, and it's part of the situation because November is hard for me, you guys. I've never lied to anybody ever. November has always in my entire life has been a kick in the butt, and it's the truth, and I don't know why it is, but it has always been that way. And then you get a little bit of a break with the Christmas holidays and things get a little bit better for a little while, and then you get January where it's super cold and stuff, and you're going back into the deep of winter, and then you start dreaming of spring again, right? And then you start planning your trip for September, and you're looking at outfits because you're planning on losing 20 pounds. I lost 20 pounds and I gained 15 pounds back, you guys. I did that. I went off my it wasn't even really a diet. I was just eliminating some foods that were not good for me, and I'm back on that, right? It took me a little while to get back off the peanut butter because peanut butter is one of my favorite foods in the whole world. And it's a good protein. It is a good protein, but they're lectins, and lectins are not good for you. Peanuts are not a nut either, they're a bean. Did you know that, Kathy, that peanuts were actually a bean? They were elected. So, yeah, so when I get inflammation in my body, it's because I'm eating too much peanut butter. Yeah, I'm pretty bad. But at the same time, like I said, it's a good protein. And for somebody like me who doesn't get a lot of well, I guess I do get a lot of proteins into me. Oh, awesome. Yeah, I guess I do get a lot of proteins into me, but they're pretty basic proteins like eggs, right? And then of course, my meats that don't aren't recognized as animals. I gave up wieners, right? I got really sick and the only thing I could think of that I had eaten was a hot dog. So I didn't do wieners for the longest time. I just didn't. Oh, and wieners used to be one of my favorites, right? Now they're just not. But I do still like my breakfast sausages. Yeah, breakfast sausages and hamburger. And I haven't had hamburger for a while, but I do other ground meats, and right, I dice up pork and I shake and bake them, and it's like dried veal. It's like dried pork. It's so good, and I'll make it with some noodles or some fried rice. I'm only talking about that because I haven't had dinner yet. Today today I made some biscuits because I just been kind of sad and just kind of right, just kind of right. So I haven't been really interested in eating and stuff, and so um, uh, tonight I boiled a couple of potatoes because I thought, oh, we'll make some sausages and eggs for dinner, right? And then I boil the potatoes, and then I use my shredder, and I shred the potatoes and I fry them in a pan. They're so good, and yeah, I right. So now I'm thinking about food, but maybe I'll lose some of those 15 pounds that I had gained back, right? It's kind of disappointing because I worked on that. That took me about 3 months to lose that weight. I wasn't really religious in losing the weight, but it just came off naturally. So I was kind of proud of myself. But it only took me like 2 weeks to pack it all back on, right? Oh well. Ah. Yeah, so I'm feeling a little bit better now. It gets me out of sorts, right? I'm just like everybody else. I do like the routine. I introduce change and I do baby steps, but change is in my life almost every single day. I have big changes and I have little changes, and then I touch with change, and but the change is always initiated by me, and it's always at a level that I can tolerate. And so when the wrenches really do get thrown into the engine, and that's the things that you can mess with me with is the things that I love, the people that I love, the animals that I love, the mother nature. Like if I love it, if I have an emotional attachment, it will, right? It's painful for me, but again, that's the stuff we have to roll with. Oh, I'm all excited. No, she probably would have cried if she was straight. She's in her cat litter box. So I said I was all excited to check in her box to see if there was anything going on, but no. I'm sure she would have screamed. I'm sure. I'm worried. I'm worried for that. Do you know any tricks to get things moving for cats, Kathy? I haven't Googled anything, but I think after my live show tonight, I'll do a little bit of Googling and see if there's anything natural that I can do. Right? I thought to get the fluids into her, that I would do the meat broth, and that's cooling now. We'll see if she likes. I don't assume that is because it's just meat and water, right? And then I just put a dash of salt in there, just so that maybe she'll drink more water. But yeah, she was cleaning herself. Oh my goodness, she's gonna she's gonna jump on my bed. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness, I don't know if that's another good sign or not. That's the first time she loves the bed, right? She loves the bed. Oh my goodness, I have to put the carpet. I can't let her jump off the bed. I can't believe she jumped up on the bed. It's another good sign. That's another good sign. Oh my goodness. I don't know how, but I'll have to keep a close eye on her because I don't want her jumping off the bed. It's a pretty high bed. I have a little stool that she jumps on. That shocked me. Oh my goodness. 3 days later, maybe she can sleep with me tonight. No, because then again, right? I'd have to stay up all night to watch her to make sure she doesn't jump off the bed. Okay, I didn't need the wipes. What I'm going to do is I'm going to grab. That's so. Oh, that puts me in that puts me in a good mood. Oh my goodness, that put me. Oh my goodness. Right, and she's sitting up. She's looking out the window. We had our first snow today. Have you had your first snow yet, Kathy? We had our first snow today. Yeah, so it was rain snow, and it's still happening right now. Not as hard as it was, but yeah. Oh, maybe she's gonna stay awake for a little while. Maybe she'll stay awake. See, it's another good sign, right? I could have easily or put her down. 2 days ago, I could have put her down so easily. Put her down because she was in such a bad condition. I couldn't even imagine that there was even a chance, right? And I'm not saying she's out of the woods just yet, but this is a fantastic sign. Oh my goodness. Now, if you just have a poop, dear, right? Before I go to bed, that would make me so happy. You'll scare me because she's going to scream really loud, I'm guaranteed. Right? Okay, you guys. Never hung out with me before? I am Cindy. I explore the inside and the outside, and today it was a little bit of both, right? But not both technically. Maybe in three ways, right? Because when I say physically, I don't necessarily mean outside, even though I did go outside for a little while. I meant physically in being present with another being, even if it is just your pet, right? So being physically. So it was a physical and an emotional day today, but I think we did good. I didn't cry like I cried yesterday. Oh my goodness. I was so excited. Yeah, I'm keeping a half eye on her. Keeping a half eye on her. Oh, she wants her. Can you give me 1 second and we'll pull a card? I just want to put her pillow on the bed just in case she wants to lay on it. Sorry. Is that what you want, baby? Huh? Is that what you want? Is that what you want? Okay, sorry about that. I might pop up again today, again if it looks like she's going to try and jump off the bed. But that is a very good sign, so I'm pleased with that. I'm pleased with that. It was really good. She jumped up pretty high, like a foot and a half. Okay, here we go. 54 powerful words, and the card we got today, the word we got today is, oh my goodness. She went up on her pillow. This is a card we've gotten quite a bit. 54 powerful words. There are cards in that deck and words in that deck that I have not even pulled yet. And yet, this one, Wonder, I have pulled this card at least, oh my goodness, at least 5 times since my deck has been finished. Yeah, so wonder is the majesty of what's being presented, right? Just like now when my cat jumped up in the bed and right? I was just like, oh my goodness, it's the majesty of what's being presented. It was something that I didn't expect. Like I didn't expect I was ever going to see her jump up on my bed ever again. And I would have been perfectly good with that, right? We would have adapted and conquered, and I would have set up little bed systems and stuff on the floor, right? Right? I could at very least keep the cat litter off my mattresses now, but I guess that ain't gonna happen. Well, that is a very, very good sign. Wonder. And wonder not in I wonder, but wonder as in, are you kidding me? Did you right? My cat just jumped up on my bed. That is so amazing. Did you see the sunset behind the mountain there? Was it not magnificent, right? Or somebody calling you in, it's bedtime, it's getting late. You're going, oh my goodness, the stars, the sky is so clear tonight that the stars are so amazing. And you're just sitting there going, wow, right? We need that in our lives. I know that I need that in my life. I know it's a big part of what I do when I go out on the outside, when I'm out on the back roads or walking in the farm fields or walking in the forest or just walking up and down the streets, right? Going to back lanes and checking out people's gardens and patio furniture and stuff. And I could just go, wow, I wish I could have that. Isn't that creative? Didn't they do a good job? I wonder if they're going to be using that rhubarb, right? Oh my goodness. And I have to say, I've been having my eyeballs on a big, big, big patch of rhubarb in somebody's yard by their where they parked the cars, but tons of it. And stood there and watched it grow every night when I go for a walk, every night walk by it, and I'm gonna ask, if I ever see anybody in this yard, I'm just gonna ask them if I can have it, right? It's all squashed, it all rotted, nobody picked any of it, and right, it all went to waste. So I'm going to keep that in mind. If I go for walks by there. Oh, it's part of my walking routine all the time. But for sure, they didn't harvest last year, and I'll bring it up. I'll just say, "Oh, I noticed that you didn't grab your rhubarb out of your garden last year. Can I have it?" I love rhubarb, but it's so expensive when you buy it in the grocery store. Like so expensive. I don't know why anybody wouldn't grab rhubarb out of the yard. And not only grab the rhubarb out of the yard, but why not grow it, transplant it? And I know it's transplantable because I did a couple of compost piles that I found in back lanes this year that produced rhubarb because they cleared the rhubarb out at the end of the season. And then the next year, right, the whole compost pile was just full of rhubarb. Yeah, I love the rhubarb. No snow, eh? December. Oh my goodness. Usually Halloween night, we have our first snow rain, right? So 6 days, 6 days late, but it was pretty nice. Like it's still, now it's more like snow than rain, like before, because it was coming down really hard. It was just like slush. And but now I can see it's lighter because it's kind of blowing. I'm looking at the street light, the snow through the street light, and I can see that it's quite light now. So probably for the rest of the night, 1 degree. Yeah, so probably there will be snow on the ground tomorrow. I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. My right, my cat is, I'm not going to say my cat is good because, oh, wouldn't that be heartbreaking? But it is, it is what it is. And in this moment, my cat is good, and I have some time to adjust and to absorb, and I can better make decisions rather than just right making quick decisions with my frantic broken-hearted brain. At least I can be ready for whatever happens. And sometimes that's all we need, right? Is just to be prepared, because it softens the blow, doesn't it? When we have a little bit of heads up that we're going to lose something or lose somebody, or right, or we're going to find ourselves in a difficult situation where we're going to have to battle a little bit, right? If we had that little bit of heads up, right? I'd follow my intuition. Sometimes I get those inklings, and I get those inklings and I think, oh my goodness, I should go for a checkup, Cindy, right? And then the feeling goes away and you never go for the checkup. But being the example that I want to be, right? I should know where I stand health wise. 64 years old. I feel pretty good. Never had a headache in my entire life, right? Never had a bleeding nose, right? Broke my baby finger, both of them actually, numerous times. I used to work in retail lumber, and they would break and I would just let them heal that way. Probably not a good thing because I know that causes arthritis. It's how part of my mother's arthritis was the calcium buildup in between her healing bones and stuff. And but I don't suffer the aches and pains in the moment. But that doesn't mean that that can't change in a moment, and that's a truth. Yeah. And my sister Tracy, she's healing up pretty good. She had some heart bypass surgery, and she's doing amazing. She's doing amazing too. So yeah, we're just gonna get over this little rough patch and then we're going to get back on track. I have a new program that I want to kind of work on, and I want to shuffle my live shows a little bit, right? I want to make my chatters live um, a playlist, and then my podcast, I don't want to post it as a video. Well, it'll still be posted as a video, but posted on a podcast as a video, and not as a video and then shared later as a podcast on a playlist. So we're going to switch things up a little bit, baby steps. I do baby step and experiments and stuff. Like, I looked at my channel and I have wonder. I have over 1,000 videos now. Over 1,000 videos. That's that's pretty incredible, I think. And I also have like, oh, almost 1 million views, I think, over the years. I have to go back in and check it out. But it's not uh, the amount of videos that have been on there, right? One day maybe I'll go in there and delete a whole bunch of them. But again, that's a part of me, and there might be one tidbit of vital information that somebody might need somewheres down the road. This is how my brain thinks, right? So I have a hard time deleting it, even though I know a lot of my beginning lives especially were pretty bad. Pretty bad, but that's the process, right? You allow yourself to fail. You allow yourself to look like a fool, the dummy, right? I got referred to as naive for years, right? And it's not necessarily that I'm naive. I'm just such a realist that I don't look beyond that. And I am somebody you look for it, I'm sure it's going to end up on your doorstep, but was it really necessary? Right? Was it really necessary? Okay, so back to this word. Wonder is the majesty of what's being presented. I really love this word, but it makes me curious because this is a word that has been popping up. Maybe we're all supposed to be paying attention, and instead of looking at all the crazy going ons, the crazy town out in the world, maybe it's just a matter of reframing what we're seeing and what we're experiencing, right? And look at it with curiosity, right? Even look at it in that I wonder, right? If that's what it's calling us to do, it must mean it's something that we're not noticing, something that we're not paying attention to. But if we did, we would go, wow, who knew? Okay, we're going to leave it at that tonight. It's a great It's a great start. That's absolutely amazing. Super happy. My cat's up on my bed. I won't let her sleep there tonight because once I'm asleep, I'm like a rock, and I don't want her jumping up and down off of the bed. But anyway, you guys, thank you, Kathy, for popping in to my live. Oh, good, good. Yeah, I've got it in the fridge right now, cooling it down, and I'll just give her a bowl of that tonight because she's eaten enough in this way because she could still get her nutrients and she can get her fluids in. Yeah, she just been enjoying the cold floor, and I didn't like that, but I haven't been agitating her, and I haven't been saying no or anything. So she wanted to lay on the floor. I let her lay on the floor, and I laid out her beds and blankets and stuff, and right because she's up and moving from one spot to another because that's basically all she can manage right now. But yeah, let's be optimistic. I think we can. She slept today, which has been very difficult for her the past couple of days, and her mouth is closed while she's breathing. That's everything. And besides crying while she's straining in the cat litter box, right? That's a little heartbreaking there. But you know what? If that's what we've got to deal with, then that's what we got to deal with. Okay, you guys, I'm going to go give my cat a little scrubby dubby on the head and, yeah, make myself a cup of coffee and get in my pajamas and call it a night, too. Everybody, have a great night, and we'll see you tomorrow.